I might be an a-hole for not wanting to get back with my now ex-wife. Sorry for being a little long, but the backstory is important. My now ex-wife and I divorced roughly 6 months ago. Recently, she's been asking me rather frequently to move back in, to do couples therapy, and if we can start dating again. I keep refusing to do any of the above. Now, to the reason we divorced and why I'm not interested in getting back together. 6 years ago, she had her first affair. We had been married for 2.5 years. I decided to do what I thought was the right thing and tried to save the marriage, going as far as accepting all the blame she placed on me for her actions. The following couple of years were rocky, but we managed to find some peace and mostly meant things. 2 years later, my father was diagnosed with cancer and eventually lost his battle. I spent the following months focusing on my marriage, spending as much time with my father as I could and supporting my mother emotionally. Fast forward 6 to 8 months, I noticed my wife started to withdraw, started acting differently, and began going out with friends a lot more than normal. I suspected she was cheating again, but I couldn't find actual proof. Flash forward to last fall. She comes back from a weekend with friends and says she wants a divorce. I agreed because things never were the same after the first affair, and she had been acting distant again, doing the same suspicious actions as before. Once we filed and the wheels were in motion, we had a lot of conversations about the previous years, and as suspected, she had been cheating off and on for the last 3 years. This brings us to the present, where I now know most of the truth and refuse to be with a serial cheater. She keeps saying that's not who she is as a person, that I'm giving up on us, and that she regrets everything she's done in the past. It's really messing with me mentally. I feel like an a-hole for putting myself first for once, and I feel like I'm being selfish. I guess I'm just really looking for some unbiased opinions. Am I the a-hole? Edit. I can't keep up with all the comments here, and honestly, I didn't expect this much interaction. I'm going to answer some common questions. 1. Why did I even post this? I guess I was having a bad day and second-guessing myself. Yes, I know how crazy that sounds. 2. Do we have kids? No kids, just a very old dog that's been there the entire relationship. 3. Why haven't I blocked her? Because I was trying to be civil and not completely lose a best friend. I know she doesn't deserve that title after everything she's done. I also still have belongings in the house, and getting a storage unit isn't in the budget right now. Also, all my family and friends live in another state, so keeping stuff there isn't really an option at the moment either. Now for the top comments, not a hole, not even close, only way he's the a-hole if he stays with her. Op is an a-hole for not initiating the divorce himself. You're not the a-hole. Prioritizing your well-being after enduring repeated betrayal is essential. Your ex-wife's actions show a pattern of dishonesty. Protect your peace and move forward. You deserve better. She worked hard earning her serial title. If this is not what she is as a person, then what is she? Not the a-hole. Yes, put yourself first after being emotionally and mentally damaged in your marriage. You have beautiful life potential ahead. Make it a good one. Remember when you made yourself small and insignificant, going as far as accepting all the blame she placed on you for actions this did not make a difference? So try something else, like believing you matter. You have value. She made a career of feeding you lies. You don't reset this belief as of feeling selfish. Best to you, also. Love to giving up us. Argument from the person who cheated and initiated a divorce. What was she doing when she decided to cheat? Pretty sure it was to give up on the marriage. Thought as the guy she was cheating with decided he didn't want to be with her any longer, and now all of a sudden she's had this epiphany to try and save or rekindle the relationship. Not the a-hole 100%. The other guy was married, talking to lawyers, going to leave his wife and kid. Shocker. It never happened. A few months later, and she's knocking at my door. I'm not falling for it again. Next story. I was called an a-hole for refusing to leave my girlfriend to be with my wife. My wife and I have been separated for 3 years, but before that, we were together for 10 years and married for 9. I loved her very deeply, and we were very happy. We had our children, who are 12 and 10. After the children, the intimacy became something I had to beg for. She never initiated it, and it got rejected 99% of the time. At first, I would say something, and she would say I was nagging her. Then I asked her to go to marriage counseling, and in one of the sessions, she just snapped and said, "We have our children now. So what is the point of doing it? She seemed to regret it immediately when she said it and claimed it was just a joke because she felt cornered by the therapist. She tried to disprove her own statement by paying attention to me, but it only took a week for her to go back to her old ways. That's when I decided I would drop the whole subject. I thought when she wanted it, she could talk to me. This was 8 years ago. We had sex until about a year before our separation. I told my wife that I wasn't happy and wanted to change, and maybe marriage counseling again. In therapy, she was dismissive, saying that I was nagging and why couldn't I just be happy when she was happy and didn't think we had a problem. I still loved her by then, so it was hard for me to leave because we often leave when the love is gone. It took me a year to put my affairs in order, and I told my wife that I was leaving her. I found a rental near my house so we could co-parent easier. I started meeting women casually, but 2 years ago, I met my girlfriend. She is amazing in every aspect. I realized that I had true feelings for her very early on, but we kept our relationship private for a while. Everything was good, and everyone was happy. Now I have made my relationship public, and a week ago, I got a call from my mom. She asked me to visit her and told me that my wife wants us to start counseling and therapy and reconcile. I wasn't sure what to tell her because I have never told anyone the reasons for our separation. So she called my wife, and my wife was there within 5 minutes, like they had planned this. My wife said that she promised to make changes and that she has been thinking about it. She loves me, and we are a family. My mom said I was selfish for throwing away my daughter's mother for a woman. Then my mom left to do shopping for dinner, and my wife came on to me and tried to kiss and touch me. She said that she was willing to give me what I wanted and start counseling. I backed away because I felt like I was betraying my girlfriend. I got home and told my girlfriend everything. She didn't say much more than I should make this decision myself. She probably feels guilty for standing in the way of the children getting their family back, but I don't love my wife, and I don't want her pity or doing things for me. I want my girlfriend, who wants me and gives me herself willingly. But now, this turned into me choosing a woman over my daughters. Your girlfriend is not standing in the way of your daughter's family, she said. You tried and suggested a lot to save the marriage, but it takes two to fight this, and your wife didn't want to. So not the AOL seems like your wife didn't think you would actually find someone else, and now she's love bombing you to keep you from divorcing her. Yeah, she said something along those lines. Yep, this is love bombing you. You will literally go back to the loveless relationship after a month of her faking it. Your children will be okay with the all divorcing. Please stay with your girlfriend and move on. Get the divorce. Your daughter is living in 2 happy homes is better than living in 1 unhappy home. There's even science that backs this up. People staying just for the kids are insane, and it will only affect them in a negative way. Rather that they get 2 happy families than 1 miserable. There won't be different than before, maybe longer than a week this time. But the only reason she wants you back is because she sees that you are happy, and she's not. You've been separated for 3 freaking years. Why haven't you filed for divorce already? Especially after finding your new girlfriend. File the papers and stop sitting on the fence. The main reasons, unless Op has acted differently, are likely 1. He will get severely over financially in a divorce. The worst-case scenario is a loss of 70 to 80% of his income and the loss of half his present assets, not counting the house she will stay living in, plus legal costs. 2. He may not have wanted to make waves for the kids since being divorced wasn't directly necessary for him. 3. He was afraid to lose most of his custody to the divorce. 4. Just inertia. Many, if not most people, generally don't like to shake the boat and make waves without a good reason. Now he has a good reason, though. Next story. Am I an a-hole for breaking up with my girlfriend after she went to a festival with her male friend? I'm a 25-year-old male who was together with my 25-year-old female girlfriend for 1 year. Both me and my girlfriend have opposite-sex friends, but there's this one guy that I am uncomfortable with. My gut screams that this guy was waiting for his opportunity. Everything he did and the way he acted just screamed, satellite guy, to me. We had previous discussions about him before, and my ex-girlfriend just said he is always like that. Fast forward to last week. My ex-girlfriend told me they wanted to go to a festival event together with this guy. There is a band they both like, and they wanted to go see them and have fun in a different city. I told her that I am not comfortable with her going to the festival with this guy. Plus, most people rent a tent during the festival and stay together. She said she would go there regardless, as it's just a friend they wanted to see the band live. I wanted to propose going together with them, but I was not available at that time. I told her that I'm extremely uncomfortable with the idea of her going to the festival with this guy. We had a small argument, but she brushed it off. The same weekend they went there and I came back this Monday. We don't live together, but my girlfriend had clothes at my place. I packed them and delivered them to her on the same day. I also told her I broke up with her and wished her the best of luck. What happened afterwards was not pretty. There was a lot of crying and screaming from her side. She asked why I was breaking up with her now. I told her I was going to break up with her if she went with that guy. I explained that it's not healthy to give ultimatums in a relationship. I just hated my boundary and how uncomfortable I was with her going to the festival with this guy. In the end, she breached the boundary and I decided to break up with her. That's all there is. I blocked her everywhere, but she's trying to reach out to me through different phone numbers and texting me. Nothing happened between them there. I did not even imply something happened there. But okay, am I an a-hole? Not an a-hole? You handled that correctly. You didn't give her any or else's or ultimatums. You told her you were unhappy with the decision, but did not try to force her to do what you wanted. She chose to do something she knew would be upsetting to you and was detrimental to your relationship. It sounds like you handled this the best possible way. Not an a-hole. I agree with you that Op handled it well. She brushed off his legit concerns and prioritized her fun over her boyfriend. Op was not saying every guy or no friends, just the ones that catch a guy. And she is clearly attached to the guy. Maybe she will learn a lesson for her next relationship. Yes, it was just that particular guy. He tried to get actual on a first occasion with my girlfriend. I literally caught him trying to caress and grab my girlfriend's thighs when they were drunk. Also, he treats me as if I'm his enemy or something, gets flirty with my ex-girlfriend all the time, and just seems like an overall satellite guy. It seems like you got a lot of guys' responses, and I'm here as a woman to back them up. Not that they need it, but coming from a different perspective. You are not the a-hole at all. Boundaries exist for a reason. She didn't respect yours, so she's got to go. I agree with a person who said, had you just let it slide, she would have done it for the rest of the relationship. Good on you, and stay strong. You did everything right. She did everything wrong. Opted everything right, but I'm not convinced she did everything wrong. If nothing happened at the festival and they are just friends, then she just crosses boundaries, sure. But that makes them incompatible. It doesn't make her wrong. Yes, it does. She's been in a relationship for a year, not a huge amount of time, but enough to say they are clearly established. She went on a solo trip with a guy that she knows is attracted to her. That's inappropriate and disrespectful. Also, people like to act like cheaters are these devious people that overly set out to cheat, but it isn't always like that. How many marriages have ended because someone said, "We're just going out for drinks. There will be other people there"? Putting yourself in a position for bad things to happen doesn't guarantee they will, but avoiding trouble is the best choice. She's not wrong for going, but wrong for being mad that she was dumped for crossing a boundary. Fed up with the last story? Am I an a-hole for leaving my girlfriend after she got a dog? Hello, I'm a 25-year-old male, and my girlfriend is a 23-year-old female. We've been together for over a year and generally have a great relationship. She's funny and kind. However, yesterday when I got home, there was a golden retriever in our house. When I asked my girlfriend whose dog it was, she smiled and said, "Ours." I wasn't sure if she was joking or being serious, so I kept asking whose dog it was. She kept smiling and saying ours, and then proceeded to say the dog's name. I don't really remember what she said her name was since a lot was going through my mind. She even told the dog to say, "Hi, Dad." I told her that she couldn't be serious right now, and she replied, "Why?" with a big smile. I didn't say anything else and just left the house, going to a hotel. At the beginning of our relationship, I had told her that I don't like dogs and can't be in the same room with one, even when I see one in public. I put a good distance between me and a person walking the dog. I told her if she ever wanted a pet, she would have to get a cat or something else that is not a dog. While at the hotel, my girlfriend called me a couple of times, but I didn't answer. Then she texted me, saying that I was overreacting and that my fear of dogs is ridiculous. She said I should at least give it a try and live with a dog for a while, and that she and the dog would help me overcome my fears. But I never asked to overcome it, and honestly, It never bothered me as long as there were no dogs in my house. I never got bothered by one in public because I always put a good distance between me and dogs. I've never even petted a dog before, and never will. I ignored her messages and just went to sleep, as I wanted to decide what to do when my head was clear. I don't want to be the guy who says it's either me or the dog. She clearly likes dogs, and I don't. So I was thinking of just breaking up with her, even though she has been amazing throughout the year. Am I the a-hole for wanting to break up with her over this? Now, for the top comments. Not the a-hole. Even if you love dogs, she needed to discuss this with you before getting one. I've heard of one of my friends who called her husband randomly one afternoon and was like, "Hi, what do we think about adopting another cat?" They already had two, along with bunnies and geckos and stuff. The husband was like, "No, we already have enough pets." And my friend was like, "Okay, well, I already adopted one, and we're on our way home." I always thought that was a bit crazy. Not the a-hole. I'm a dog lover, but if my husband said that he was absolutely terrified of dogs, I wouldn't bring one home. It's not even about the dog at this point. It's the fact that she completely disregarded your feelings, boundaries, and basically expects you to suck it up. Lace doesn't matter if they are both dog lovers. They both need to decide and talk about getting any pet. Your girlfriend is not a partner. She doesn't seem to understand that on big decisions. I think it's fair to say, it's the dog or me. Not an a-hole, not an a-hole, even if you didn't have a fear of dogs at all. She had no right to make such a huge decision for your household without even talking to you about it. This adds a huge layer of responsibility to you both. And since she knew it was a hard limit for you and did it anyway, I didn't see where she found the audacity. You're not making her choose between you and the dog. You're asking her to respect your long-established boundary and fix the mistake she made. If she feels comfortable making unilateral decisions on this, she'll do it again on other things. "Hey, I just signed a lease up for us on a new apartment." Don't be silly, you don't need to see it first. You'll love it. "Oh hey, I just got pregnant, yes, I went off birth control 3 months ago." Don't be silly, you loved having a baby. "Oh hey, I just invited my aunt to move into our house because she didn't have a place to stay." And when you get mad at her for not even consulting you, quit being controlling. "Sounds like you are also married to my wife. Sounds like you might need to unmarry."